All right, this is, oh man. This is my first acquisition of 2024. It was a trade deal, so technically I have not bought any knives in 2024. Now, it's not completely dark in here, and I do have the studio light off for the moment. It glows in the dark. And does it glow? OMG. This thing will glow all night long. Like, I literally put on my nightstand one night and let it sit all night. And in the morning when I woke up, it was still glowing. Yeah, I had a hit sitting under the studio light for a few minutes while I did the measurements and whatnot. And I did blast it with a flashlight, I'm not gonna lie, before I hit record. But man, this thing, it's like a flashlight in and of itself. It glows so bright. All right, so what do we have here? We have the Kershaw Junkyard Dog 2, designed by Tim Gallion. Now, there's two reasons why I bought it. One, because it has these glow-in-the-dark scales, which are aftermarket. I have no idea who made them or if they were like a one-off that somebody made for this knife. It did come with black textured G10 scales, which I think look awesome as well. And the glow-in-the-dark ones are also textured. So I think it's awesome. All right, so it glows in the dark, so I had to buy it. And I own a one-off custom, the Eagle XL Junkyard Dog from Tim Gallion, which is truly an amazing, amazing knife. It flips like no other knife I've ever handled. Super smooth, crazy action on phosphor bronze washers. Everything about this is fantastic. I've done a full video on this, which I'll try to link in the corner. You can go check it out if you have not already. I would encourage you to check this one out. Like, I'm not just begging people to go watch all of my other videos just for views and stuff like that. That's not how I roll. The intricacies of that custom and how it was made and the carbon fiber and G10 inlays is truly works of art, super high-end, like craftsmanship. Master craftsman doesn't even describe or explain the level that is gone to in this knife. 11 stages of automotive finishing to clear coat that. Like, it's insane. Go check out my other video if you want more details on that. So I had to buy this one or trade for this one from a friend, Chris. Now, I love it for what it is, and I don't like it also for what it is. The pocket clip must be one of the most terrible pocket clips on a knife I have ever handled so far in my life. It's ugly. I've seen some ugly pocket clips, but this is ugly. It's tip down only, right hand only, and it's just not very comfortable. That point of it does kind of feel it in your hand. It's not great. Okay. It is a liner lock and the action's not good. And I can't get it centered. So when I bought it, the detent was super light. It's lighter. The detent was lighter than it is now. So it does flip. When I first got it, it would not flip without a lot of wrist, no matter how hard I hit the flipper tab. Now it will at least flip, but I could never get it centered after I cleaned it and tweaked the lock bar a little bit to give it some more tension. And now it's pretty well locked up. There is no, maybe a tiny bit of blade play, but if I tighten it anymore, it gets even more off center. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. It doesn't rub, and it's not like it's something I'm going to carry. And I have no fault from the previous owner whatsoever. I knew what I was getting into when I bought it, or when I got it. And that's okay. This is not a carry knife. This is not a user knife. It is a collection knife for me. You'll notice that it's got this weird line, sawtooth, in the blade. That's because it's actually two different steels. We have Sandivic, whatever it is, 14C28N for the main body and the spine. Super high corrosion resistance. And then we have D2 blade steel for that fine, hard cutting edge. Easy to resharpen. Not quite as corrosive resistant as the 14C, but takes a much finer edge and is easily sharpened in the field and whatnot. So I love the fact and how they did that. Kershaw has a kind of a patented process for doing those two steels like that. And I think it looks great, number one, and then it does work well because it gives you that more premium steel along the cutting edge. So it does work. It runs on phosphor bronze washers, much like the customs. So I like the fact that they kept that true to form and didn't just throw bearings in there or anything like that. Is a liner lock. That particular custom is a frame lock. I wish they had have done tip up carry with more of a more mainstream pocket clip, if you will. Now, this is an older model. These are no longer available. It has a G10 backspacer, which matches the black G10 scales. All in all, I'm happy with the acquisition. I wish it was in better shape. I may reach out and try to talk to somebody at Kershaw and see if I can send it in for a little spot treatment. One of the body screws, I don't remember which one, was not completely stripped out. It just, it would never get tight, but it looked fine. And when I put a different screw in the same hole, it is just weird. Like I couldn't make it work right. So one of them is just kind of Loctited in and it's not super tight. Like it doesn't totally seat, if you will. There is milling in it's a skeletonized liners on both, mostly just on the show side. And a little bit on the lock side as well. I don't know if I can show that here. Let me see if I can show that with a light shining through. So there you go. You can see that there is some cutouts there. And then along the inner part, if you can see there's 3 or 4 pockets. So let me get into some specs now that I've rambled. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. 4 7/8, 8.5 inches overall with a 3.7 inch cutting edge. Their website says 3 3/4, but I'm measuring from the edge of the scale to the tip and I get 3.7, whatever. 3.3 inch cutting edge, 0.029 behind the edge. It's a little bit thick behind the edge, so this is more of a working knife, not a slicer and dicer. We talked about the blade steel. Weighs in at 5.7 ounces, just a little bit over your standard D-cell battery. And overall thickness is 0.54, not including the pocket clip. All right, so let me give you a couple of quick size comparisons, specifically with the XL Junkyard Dog. God, I love that knife. The Sharpie, the Spytricodelica. Since we're staying in more of that budget realm, how about the Kubi KB237? Like I said, this is a long since discontinued knife. You can find them out in the world if you try. I found this one, so yeah, very cool. I'm glad to have it. I'm going to leave it with the glow in the dark scales. It kind of just sits on my table or my desk. It's just part of the collection. If and when I ever go to sell this guy, which you never know, I'm never going to say never. I have no intention, but people reach out all the time about things. They might just get me at the right time. I would just include both of these as a package just because I think they belong together. So let me know down below your thoughts on Kershaw, on this particular model and shape. And let me know if you've got one. I would love to hear. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please go check out the other video of this up in the corner.